Jeff, just a couple questions. You spoke on the studies done by Rutgers, and then you just spoke a little bit about New Jersey's Global Warming Response Act of 2007, which is actually stronger than the Paris Climate Accord, right? Where do you stand, and where do you feel that we stand with respect to the data that's been released on where the state is currently with their goals on the 2020?
Which set of data, sorry?
With respect to carbon emissions.
No, but from what source?
Well, we got multiple sources here that include Rutgers, but the data that we're looking at, and I assume that's what Assemblyman Schapese is talking about, suggests that the state of New Jersey currently right now is on track, if not to exceed those emission standards. Right now we're ahead of the 2020 standard.
Well, I don't, you have to factor in, and there's a couple of things that have changed according to when you look at the data, what's called the TRI data from EPA. We've opened a few new natural gas plants, so that's actually caused a spike in greenhouse gases.
We also closed 2 coal, though, right?
But we've also opened 4 gas, so that's why I was saying this has been a small increase. We also see fugitive emissions, which that doesn't pick up, which comes from pipelines. But the biggest problem we have in New Jersey is really the failure to move forward when it comes to reducing air pollution and carbon from mobile sources, and that's one of the things that you're not picking up in that data.
And how do you suggest we do that?
There is data on it.
Yeah,
45% of New Jersey's greenhouse gas emissions come from automobiles.
So how do you suggest we reduce that?
There are reports
other than this accord, because that's not going to cure that issue.
No,
so just what's your opinion? You know,
I think moving towards more fuel-efficient vehicles, hybrids and electric vehicles will help do that quite a bit. Trip reduction programs.
But this piece of legislation wouldn't accomplish that.
No. But this is about working together with other states for an overall strategy, and that could be a part of that strategy.
But currently it's not, right?
I'm not.
In the overall global strategy in the Paris Climate Accord, that doesn't include that strategy.
Right, but each country.
So let me just finish. I'm just curious how this piece of legislation will help with what you just said is the problem here in New Jersey.
Because part of the Paris Accords is that countries are going to develop strategies suited for them. If you read through the agreements, there's flexibility. And in a state like New Jersey, our way to reduce greenhouse gases, one of the big things we're going to have to do, because we've done a lot when it comes to stationary sources, is going to be through the transportation sector. But that is allowed because countries can develop their own strategies and working together with their other states. And we're going to see something similar to a RIGI compact for electric vehicles.
Right, but countries can. But we're talking about the state of New Jersey.
Well, the state has the ability to reduce greenhouse gases.
But currently, this piece of legislation does not accomplish that. Right?
I think it helps move us in that direction.
Okay. Thank you. This is a feel-good piece of legislation that doesn't accomplish anything. We should be looking at legislation that does address what Mr. Tittle was talking about with respect to the amount of cars that are on the highways. To Assemblyman Schapese's statement about COA and the requirements and the amount of homes that are going to need to be built, the additional amount of transportation issues that are going to come with that. Those are the pieces of legislation we should be speaking about.